Welcome to July 1st, 2026 trade and market recap. Today I had one loss. It was 42.5 points on MNQ. Um, right idea, but unfortunate execution. We learn, we move on. But to get started, let's go over the pre-market analysis and let's go over it, right? So today we had expanded lower off of the daily open down into this 4-hour imbalance. With ES putting this relevant low, and then YM having this failure swing to previous day low, which is I think this level right here. So I wanted to see some type of New York reversal continuation, high time frame continuation, back up to buy side. So a super low of day, and then a move back higher. Okay. So then what had happened, right? We opened lower. NQ significantly moves lower into this 4-hour fair value gap, with ES sweeping low of day and YM barely sweeping previous day low, forming a SMT with previous day low as well. From there, we have a very slow grind back up to buy side, right? Very slow grind, so just kind of leaving these failure swings beneath, and not much expansion, no fair value gaps really to trade away from. And then we come up here, we hit this internal high, which is also a 1-hour SIBI, a 1-hour fair value gap. And what happens is there's a short opportunity presented, which is after the 10 a.m. open, right? So 10 a.m. opens, engineers these lows beneath with failure swings. We initially mitigate the 1-hour SIBI in this internal high. We resweep it, so we get initial mitigation sweep. And then we have clear expansion lower with a 1-minute CISD. And the reason I had faded this was due to just the price action, right? We're accumulating within here. And also on ES, I'm shorting into this expansion. So ES has much further expansion, where NQ has the failure swings here. So I wasn't too inclined in shorts, as well as us putting this high time frame manipulation in, confirmed by the weekly cycle sequential SMT, or the SMT with previous day low, that YM had put in. YM had swept previous day low off record open. So all assets were able to distribute bullish. However, we didn't have this clear expansion on NQ just yet. So I'd waited and waited for some type of retracement. So I'd expected this to be kind of the rebalance play, due to these failure swings as clear draws to go lower. So then price had 10 a.m. open, manipulated higher, and then expanded lower. And then the next power 3 open, where I can play off of the continuation framework that I trade. Is that we have a newer low time frame power 3 open relative, to the daily power 3, the 4-hour power 3. We open lower. Okay, we sweep out this like intermediate term low. We tap EQ of this recent expansion, and then we have a low time frame stop hunt as well. So we have this, a higher time frame manipulation, higher time frame rebalance. We have these failure swings higher, low time frame stop hunt, and then we have expansion away with this 1-minute CISD, as a mechanical confirmation or candle confirmation for higher prices. So this was my trade here, and I was targeting these 830 highs as a clear draw on liquidity, as with the failure swings leading to this 830 highs, and this is the exact continuation framework here, right? We have this high time frame SMR put in. We within the high time frame power 3, which would be the daily power 3. It also aligns with like the reversal. So we have the reversal. We retrace down. We form lower resistance liquidity above. You have a low time frame stop hunt, right within discount of the range, and then we have a displacing CISD within a lower time frame power 3, right, which is the 1030 power 3, leading to a high time frame draw on liquidity. Okay, so that's exactly the framework that this trade had followed, and then also aligns on the other assets as well, right? On ES, obviously, so YM had been, much stronger, was able to distribute much quicker. ES had been just swept this internal high up here, tapped this 15-minute fair value gap on ES, which is a key level, and then is also expanding it as well away, right? So now we have this clear drawn liquidity higher as previous day high in ES. We had the reversal framework put in, and now we're looking for continuation out of this imbalance following this retracement, right? So that was the idea behind this. And unfortunately, it had not played out. And the only thing that I note here is a potential reason for this being failing. Obviously, we have kind of more of this high resistance distribution, this trend line liquidity, which could be a clear reason for price to draw lower, as well as these conditions aren't very ideal or very choppy, so could expect we or to protect ourselves more, we want maybe a further sweep, initial mitigation sweep, a higher time frame initial mitigation sweep for a higher time frame protected stop loss rather than forming a protected stop loss on a 1 minute time frame. So this could be viewed as the 15-minute internal low is then swept on ES, and then this was like a higher time frame protected low here rather than a 1 minute time frame protected low, as we're not delivering from any clear imbalance here. But then after this does play out as this being the protected low right here, sweeping the 15-minute internal low. And it hosts the move back up the buy side. And another thing I noted here as well is that ES has the most obvious draw here as the next draw, which is previous day high. So it'd be much more reasonable to trade ES in this scenario. I want to take something like this to trade ES because it's like the stronger asset. So I anticipate it to maybe expand at a or more efficiently than NQ because it is stronger, higher in the range, and closer to previous day high. So this does follow the continuation framework as well. Expecting choppy conditions. We have NFP tomorrow, I believe, and can look for a higher time frame protective stop loss within the continuation framework. And yeah, I don't think it's a horrible trade. Just recognizing conditions, and yeah, I don't know. And something I did do with risk management here is that once we did come lower and make this wick, the small move higher, I had just trimmed here due to I trailed my stop loss here because if we're gonna return back below this low, we're gonna stop me out. So I was able to save or manage or mitigate some risk in that sense. But yeah, now it looks like we retraced deeper into the range, right? We retraced probably around OTE or a little further. Yep, I'm perfectly wicking on this level. And we leaving low of day, low of session in as it is protected, high resistance. And sometimes you can see this high resistance distribution come on like a lower probability day like today, but it still be protected because of the manipulation, the key level, and everything that came before and went along with it. So just noting that on these lower probability days could see deeper retracements, right? Not as clear expansion, not as clear fair value gaps that form, and also looking for higher time frame protected lows or higher time frame stop ons to frame the trades from, right? And I guess this is the only imbalance we had formed, only 5 minute plus imbalance we had formed. So potentially, it doesn't really get respected that well, but yeah, so just looking for or being open to deeper retracements within lower probability days, trading the stronger asset and higher time frame protected lows with the continuations framework as well. But yeah, so that looks like it was the ideal trade to take, and obviously it played out to previous day high on ES, and then YM kind of just really accumulated here, but was generating these failure swings to high of day as well. um, as clear reason for higher prices. So yeah, that is my trade today, the market recap, and let me know if you have any questions. But have a good one. Enjoy.